Alrighty, well, welcome back. It's been a couple days since I filmed here again. Ended up getting sick for a couple days and really knocked me on my butt, so haven't really filmed a whole lot, so jumping back into it today here, and we're gonna jump on a side quest because a couple weeks ago I had a buddy give me 2 TDI engines for a build that I have planned coming up. So he gave me 2 of those and was only going to charge me $200 for them, but he hits me up the other day and goes, "Hey, I just picked up a POS Jeep Cherokee that needs brake lines. How about you run some brake lines instead of paying me?" So we have now acquired a POS Jeep Cherokee to put brake lines on. So that's going to be my side quest here for the next couple days. He's got all the brake parts on order. I've got some brake line already sitting in there that he supplied for me, so all good to go. Little 2-door, 4-wheel drive, 4-liter Cherokee, and time to slap some brake lines on here and make sure this thing doesn't kill him. So, yeah, that's my side quest now. Get this thing done, that way we can move back onto some fun stuff. Got a lot of weird side projects to do within the next few months, so always exciting. Alright, well, up on jack stands here. Got my little inspection of everything done. These front rubber lines are nice and crusty all through here around the crimps. Got one busted line right there into it. Also got a busted line on the rear axle. Drums and all that back here are flaking apart nicely. Luckily they're riveted on shoes, so you're not just going to have them explode everywhere. At least you're not as likely to have them explode everywhere, but hardware's all nice and rusty, so I have him get some new hardware and whatnot for it. See if he wants to replace the drums and go from there, but everything's nice and rusty. You can see all how bad that line looks, and surprisingly this one hasn't blown out yet, but yeah, so I'll have him get a bunch of parts for us and get this thing knocked out here in the next couple days, hopefully.
Later.
Well, I actually think while we're waiting on parts for this thing, I'm going to go jump onto another side project of my own here. Just got to waddle around the front of the house and down to the front yard. Got the coops up in the front yard here, basically just on display. But down yonder, we've got ourselves a little Forester XT sitting down there. And if you can notice, those tires are sitting kind of goofy. So I think today might be a good day to maybe go take care of that and get that car out of the yard. Ended up acquiring that thing from a friend that moved last year, as he just didn't want to deal with it and take it with him. Has title issues and other nonsense, but has a busted control arm. Throw a control arm up on it and let's get that thing moved. Get it out of my front yard from where it's been sitting for the last like 6 months. So I think that'll be a good little side mission for today, minus this side mission and a couple others we're going to move into. So let's go work on that. Well, got a bunch of odds and ends thrown on the truck bed, so let's go get to it. Doggy. And we'll just take a shortcut through the yard. Well, down here we have ourselves a POS 04 Forester XT. Well, the only real nice thing about it is the interior. This interior is very nice. other than a bunch of stuff being abandoned in it. And it supposedly really smells, but I can't smell shit anyway, so we just leave that to my friends. That's their problem, not mine. So, this control arm's busted. Time to get this thing jacked up and see what the heck we're gonna get ourselves into to replace it. So, yeehaw. Alright, well I got one bolt out for the control arm so far, but man, this thing is a rusty turd. So here's the actual control arm of where it snapped. It is just all broken apart. It is bad. So this outer bolt here is fighting me. I'm gonna go grab a breaker bar and see what I can do with it, but man, if it snaps off in there, I'm gonna be pissed.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Alrighty, well, was able to get that thing off of there. Went and grabbed myself a breaker bar and got that back bolt broken loose. It was mainly just seized in the aluminum of the control arm bushing mount piece, whatever you want to consider it. It's mainly all seized together with that. And this stupid thing, the bolt came out, like, just slid right out, which is amazing. But yeah, so that's off of there. Time to grab a control arm that I got on the back of the truck there and reverse this process. So, heck yeah, I get this thing thrown back together. Well, managed to get the control arm in, but in the process it also made me remember that the CV boot is a little shot. From when it broke, it pulled everything out. So I'm gonna go through my hoard of axles, but I'm not very confident that I have one that'll match this. So gonna go find out, see what I can find, but sadly that might be the end of the road for her today. So unfortunately, I do not have a CV axle in my inventory that will fit this. Everything I have is older and does not have a male spline that would pop into the transmission. So gonna have to find myself one of those. Hopefully local scrapyard will have something laying around. Or I really don't want to buy a new one. This car ain't worth that to me. It's still on the chopping block of whether or not it's gonna get sold whole or get parted out. I really don't even know what this thing's purpose is. I just bought it to get it out of my buddy's hair. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna make a crib of some wood under it, get my jack back, and we will pick up on this another day. So off to another side mission, maybe tonight, maybe yet tomorrow. We'll see what happens.
The next day.
We finally have parts for this POS, so I think it's time to throw together some brakes. So gonna get right to it, get the drums thrown together first, get the front end put together, and start running brake line from there. So see what happens. I'll film a bit of it, but probably won't bore you with too much of this. So this is just gonna be a quick here and done project. So I was having some problems putting the rear end here together with this bottom spring. It's loose or too tight in every orientation and just kind of sits weird with the adjuster. So popped the other side off. Realized at some point the adjusting stuff had been taken out of it and maybe a different spring was put in to account for that. I don't know. So Gonna have to look into getting the actual adjuster kit, not just the adjuster. So have my buddy order them up for this thing and hopefully be good to go. So I guess time to move on to the fronts for now.
The next day.
What are you doing, this dog? Go get your ball. Well, I think I finally got all the parts for this stupid Jeep. Got the rear adjusting pieces for the adjusters in the rear for the drums. All good to go. Gonna get it thrown together on the other side and then tear this one apart and start running brake lines. And then we can get this thing completely done.
10 seconds later.
Alright, got this side all put together. This was the cable piece and bracket that we were missing before. So this side's all together. I now have a refresher of what I need to do to assemble these. So time to get this side knocked out. That way we can start running ourselves some brake lines. So get right to it. Well, Jeep did a really good job of making these brake lines kind of a pain in the butt. Everything is nice and tight all through the master down here to a proportioning valve. Then they all split off from there. Gonna be fun. Gotta get all those lines cut and pull them out of there. And then set up the new lines, bring them in the garage, flare them, and route them through for the last time. So should be a fairly quick process. So I'm gonna jump into it and just start getting it done.
2 hours later.
Well, was making really good progress here on the Jeep. Got all the brake lines ran, everything's all done as far as that needs to go, hooked up, started bleeding it, got the rears bled out no problem, and just pump and pump and pump and pump and pump, and we cannot get anything out of the front. Normally you'd try a vacuum bleeder, do other stuff, but ended up noticing after I put the cap back on it, you could just hear a suction. And out of the bottom of the booster where they bolt together, it's blowing fluid back out every time you pump it. So master is leaking into the booster. It's going to need a new master cylinder, but back brakes are at least working, so I can throw wheels and tires on it and throw it down in the yard and see if my buddy wants to come get it as it is. So see what happens with it. Might see this thing again, you might not, but we're going to get tires thrown back on it, get this thing yanked out of the driveway, and I'm going to bring up a better project to work on tonight. So sounds like a good plan to me.